class, but I am 100% happy to explain exactly what that means after the fact. That really could be a huge game changer with people that are borderline on buying a house, because a lot of people don't have the money to put down 20%, and then they pay for a decade hundreds of dollars, if not more, every single month, money that's gone in order for them to borrow the money that they really should have had to begin with, but whatever. So that's a little bit about that. So anyhow, welcome one and all. Thank you guys for lunch and for everything.
Thank you. It's all fun.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
We're going to get started with, as we do every month, the numbers for the last 30 days in the Point Siena market. There are currently 864 homes available in 34758, 34759, with the average being priced at $334,000. Average pending is $320,000. So that's telling you right there that there's a $14,000 delta between a list price and when it would go pending, and then a sold price of $319. So I know I have a couple of listings out here at $329. I pulled these numbers yesterday. I called the seller and I said, listen, you're 10,000 high before anybody will even look at these properties. I got my price reductions down to $319, and I told him they're probably going to sell around $313. So he's already prepared for those. So I did get my price reductions. So make sure that you explain to them that depending on these are 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet, built 2022, 2023. So make sure that you're pricing things accordingly, and even at that price, it is still 101 days on the market. Okay, so you've got to let them know that you're looking at a minimum of 3 to 4 months average days on market if you're priced at the average price. So to keep that in mind. Vacant lots, 301 vacant lots active, 28 pending, and 14 sold in the last 30 days. That means there are way too many vacant lots on the market for what's being sold. 14 sold, 301 on the market. That's years worth of inventory at that rate. So make sure, with the average prices around 54, 55,000. Of course, you have 2 very big extremes. When you have no water, no sewer, that brings it down to around 20, 25,000. Water and sewer is like 60 to 70,000. So that's why you're somewhere in between. So keep all of that in mind, and that is a very big sign, as always, as the last few months have I've been telling you, on builders. They're not buying up a lot of these lots unless they're dirt cheap. No pun intended. Any questions about the numbers? Okay, perfect.
I have one question, sorry.
Yeah.
How many of those properties are ours? Did you say that?
I didn't pull those numbers.
Okay, just curious.
I didn't pull those numbers. But there's always room to grow.
Yes.
So we're going to go out of order of my sheet. But let's go ahead and start with what I passed out to everyone, the commission agreements. We've gone over some of these in the past, but as the months and probably close to a year now of no longer offering co-brokes on MLS, which has changed my business zero, as I'm sure all of you guys almost zero, because everybody's still offering the co-broke. They just don't stick it where you can see it. You just call them and get the co-broke. There are various commission agreements that you need to be aware of to make sure you're using, A, you're using one of them, and B, you're using a proper one. I know, for instance, Esther came up to me just 2 weeks ago about a problem with a commission agreement from a rental property that was outside of our umbrella. So I want to go through, I've labeled them on mine, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one that we're going, and they're in order for you. The first one is the regular straight up commission agreement. Now, what is that commission agreement for? This commission agreement is basically used, it was the original one for years on, we're gonna show a property, maybe it's a for sale by owner, and we wanna make sure that we're going to get paid. So rather than taking a full listing agreement, We just take a commission agreement with them. And what we would do is we'd go up to the seller, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'd like to sell your property. I know it's for sale by owner. Are you willing to pay a commission? Oh, sure. I'm just doing it on my own because I do this on the side or whatever. Great. I charge blank percent or blank flat fee. Are you willing to pay that? And then you would go ahead and fill out this commission agreement where you would put the seller/landlord over here. The broker would be Transcend Realty, and then to sell or to lease, whatever. And then you would fill out the appropriate figures there. Once again, this would be in a for sale by owner scenario or any scenario where an owner is not willing to give you a listing agreement for whatever the reason, okay? Maybe you don't want to go through a whole listing agreement and you already have the buyer lined up. You don't need the full listing agreement. You can use this. Just make sure that you sell that house with that agreement because you still have no listing if that buyer falls out. Okay? Any questions about this particular listing agreement? Very simple, very straightforward. The next one is compensation agreement. Seller to buyer's broker. Most listing agreements that you go out and you take right now are going to be where the seller is going to pay the listing broker and the listing broker is going to pay the selling broker. That's how it's always been in the past, and that's what they're basically doing right now. Under this is the opposite. This is the seller is, let's just come up with a fictitious number. The seller is going to pay the listing broker 2.5%, 3%, 4%, whatever. 2.5%, 3% to sell the house. But they're also willing to pay the selling broker directly and bypass the agent. They're going to pay the selling broker directly to sell the house. So let's say that they're also going to offer 2.5%. So your listing agreement is going to show that they're only willing to pay you the listing commission. They are not willing to pay you the selling commission. They're going to bypass you and pay it directly. It's very similar. It doesn't change a whole heck of a lot, except for you can't dictate what the other agent is going to make. So you can get your full commission. They say, fine, whatever. I'm only going to pay 1%. They would use this agreement in order to accomplish that. Okay? So, once again, it's very simple to fill out. Buyer, broker, seller, you just keep going down there. And down on section 4 is where you would put either the flat fee or the percentage. And you'll see that the seller is not signing anything with the listing agent. It says buyer's broker underneath. The buyer broker signs it. So this would be used in that scenario. Any questions, comments, concerns about that scenario? Okay. Moving right along, we're going to go to number 3, which is compensation agreement, selling broker to buying broker. That's when you fill out the listing agreement like normal. You're going to list it for 4%, 5%, 6%, and then the agent, the broker of the seller, is going to dictate out of that big number how much they're going to give away to the selling agent. Has nothing to do with the seller. The seller's already agreed to cough up blank percent, 5%. So I'm giving ranges because you can't actually set an actual commission amount. It's against the antitrust, which is where this all stemmed from, essentially. So if you were to list it for 5%, 6%, whatever, then you would be, that's what they're going to cough up, and then of that, you're going to figure out where and how much you're going to be giving to the buyer's agent. This would be the agreement that you would fill out in that regard. And you'll see at the bottom, the seller has nothing to do with it. There's nowhere for the seller to sign. There's nowhere for the seller to initial. It's the seller's broker going to the buyer's broker. So that's how you can differentiate. The end result is very similar. It's just who's paying whom, and this is how they deemed it to be more, well, yeah, for lack of better wording, more legal, which is ridiculous. It's just explaining the process a little bit more detailed. My personal opinion is it makes it way more complicated and it confuses the heck out of people. But this is how they feel. This is more clear. This is clearer for the world to see. Questions about that agreement? I'm not going into how to fill it all out because it's really, you just put your names in there and initial. You know, there's nothing really to know so much. The fourth agreement is about a commission agreement between an owner or a listing broker for a tenant's broker. Okay? You don't necessarily have to use this particular one. If you're showing rental properties that are not within our company, which happens, it happens quite a bit and there's nothing wrong with it, this is locking that down to make sure that you're going to get paid for that instance. So if you call up, you know, whomever realty, hey, I wanted to show your property at 123 Main Street, are you offering a co-broke? It's for rent, it's not for sale, it's for rent. Well, we're not offering a co-broke, but the seller, the owner, is offering a co-broke of blank. So you would fill out this, you do the checkbox, the owner, and put the owner's name, is going to be paying that. And then you would have the owner sign an initial on the bottom. You would send it over to that agent and they would get it from the owner. That's really not gonna happen, almost ever. They're basically going to hire that management company or realtor to rent the property. So basically you're almost always gonna check the second box where the listing broker is going to be paying you out of the commission that they get from the landlord, okay? So you would check the second box, you would put whomever realty, and then we would be the next one, the tenant's broker. If you have the client, that would be Transcend Realty. So whomever realty is gonna pay Transcend Realty, and then whomever realty would be signing this agreement, and we would be signing this agreement. So this would be used in the case of finding a tenant for somebody that's not within our company, okay? Does that make sense? They're gonna give you the numbers to put in there. It's not like you have to come up with all of this. They're gonna say, we're gonna give you a $100 flat fee. Fine, if that's what you agree on, put the $100 flat fee.
But Jacob, when they pay Transcend.
They're gonna pay Transcend Realty and then it just goes through like normal. It always has to be broker to broker or now seller or landlord to broker.
Right.
It can't be, at no point is it whomever to agent. Then that would be the next step. So good question there. So these are the various commission agreements. I went on Appfolio, and they're all there. If you want to go and print them right out, you don't have to necessarily create a new Appfolio file for every single rental that you do. Obviously, if you have a buyer, you do. If you have a seller, you do. But I don't really care so much about the rental side of it. But these would be the agreements that you're going to upload into whichever files that you open. Okay? Yes? That's okay. Thank you. So those are the agreements. They're the latest, the greatest. I downloaded them today. They came through Florida Realtors for the most part. It looks like the end of 2024, middle to end of 2024. So those are the most updated forms that we could possibly use. Next thing I want to bring up is Ring Central. Is anyone not receiving phone calls? And I don't need a show of hands, but if you're not receiving phone calls, have you tested it to see that your phone is actually ringing when the office calls you? Double check that. If you don't have your settings properly, the front desk is sending out leads all day long. If they're not being sent to your phone, either it's not programmed properly, you're not responding to them, so we've kind of moved on, or there should be a voice message set up afterwards that, hey, this is Jacob with Transcend Realty. I'm sorry I missed your call. The quickest way to reach me is by text. If not, leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done helping the current client, whatever, come up with something.
Maybe one quick one.
Yeah.
My Ring Central's never worked. What do I start over?
No, come to me and let me see if the setting is right.
Yeah,
You
I'll check
might
it.
not need the app. It might just be a direct phone. So like a lot of you guys don't have the apps anymore.
Mhm.
And all it is when the phone call comes into the front desk, we hit the button on the phone that says Ed.
Mhm.
Whatever that button is programmed should be ringing your cell phone directly without the app.
Oh, okay,
That's how it should be set up.
okay.
I highly encourage you to test it before you leave the office today. I'm here, I can fix it right now. If you're not getting those phone calls, let's double check the reason why. The other reason might be we haven't received responses from you in a while, so we've moved on to the next agent. So we just want to make sure that it's not the first issue that's the problem. Yes?
Sometimes when I get the call, it'll come up as innovation, innovation property management. So I'm on the call and then it's a client or whatever, and then going back to get their number, it doesn't come up as their number. It just comes up as the office, so it's kind of hard.
Right, because the call is coming through the office, so it comes into the office and the office is making that phone call. I might be able to check your setting to see if I can flip that. Remind me after the meeting and let me see if I can flip it. I don't know that I can, but I can try.
So you could just try calling this through that system and I'll know if it works or not.
It's very simple. I
Okay.
just hit the button on the front desk that says Ed, and I'll know if it's calling you or not.
Okay, we'll
On a
try that.
positive note,
One other thing though.
Yes.
All right, one other thing. We're still Zillow Premier agents, right?
Still Zillow and Realtor.com.
I got a good house lead from them and sold a house, but I haven't got a lead from them in over 6 months.
So those are on round robins. I'm sorry, they're not on round robins. Those are on whoever answers the phone first. Literally, like they'll go and if or either it's either a text message or a call, but they come in and if you're picking up the phone, you're getting that lead first.
Yeah, they just haven't been calling. I went in and
We have-
checked my profile, make sure it was in there right. But yeah, I used to get them all the time. I sold some houses through that.
Zillow leads routing. Okay, I'll double check it,
Yeah.
but nothing has been changed on that
Mhm.
in months and months and months. But it should be going to everybody equally.
Mhm.
That's it. I mean, it's an internal setting through Zillow that we do that
Anybody
with.
else here get Zillow leads?
Zillow Premier, they're slim to none,
No,
but
they-
you gotta be quick on the response for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, normally with Zillow, they'll actually send you an email too. So if they did send you something, they'll say, hey, this person tried to call you, follow up through your Zillow Premier app. Have you gone into the actual app?
Oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
and tried to straighten out my profile. The only thing wrong with my profile is I don't have any. I lost the word. for it.
Reviews?
Reviews, because I'm old school. I don't like asking people to review it. I just do a fantastic job. Now, do they not send you leads if you don't have any reviews on there?
Not really.
That's the only thing that's off.
It certainly can hurt you if people research you.
Mhm, mhm.
But it shouldn't hurt you that much with regards to them not sending you a lead.
Mhm.
So I'd grab some leads.
Yeah. Oh, you mean
There are some reviews.
Okay.
I mean, just get a couple. Right
Yeah.
now, if you have a big 0, that's
Yeah.
not great. If you have
Yeah.
2 or 3 5-star, that looks way better.
Something, yeah. Yeah, but what if they give you a bad review because the seller's just a jerk and they don't like nothing?
You don't ask those people for the review.
I like
Go
to
to
go
the-
to your family. Go to your family and friends. Like, hey, just say that I sold
Yeah.
you something.
You can go back 10 years and say, hey, I'm looking to,
Right.
you can call Tim Teeter
I
and
got
he'd
lots
give you
of
a
people
review.
that like me. I
My
just don't
father-
ask them for
father,
reviews.
Just do it.
I
Just say,
gotta
just
move
say,
into the
blame
21st
me. Hey, I just wanted to let you know my broker is pushing us to get our online presence better.
I
Can
blame
you-
everything on you.
Perfect.
All the time.
I'm not going to speak to these people more often than not. They're not calling me. Hey, my broker's really pushing. I got to get these online reviews. He told me I had to get 5 by the end of blank. Come up
Yeah.
with something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And can you please help me?
Yeah.
It'll take you 2 seconds.
I'll do that.
You log into your Zillow profile and there's a button that says send the review,
Mhm.
and you put their email address in. It's that simple.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that.
It's that simple. If you provided excellent service, they have no problem doing it. So, yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to piggyback off Jaden. Jaden, are you getting the app? That's why you're seeing the innovation name? Do you have that?
I have the ReCentral app.
Okay, good.
So it comes up in like the call log as the office. So like let's say they call me, call
I
jobs
like
or
that.
something. I try to call back, it goes straight to the office. So
I think the good thing is download the app because you'll be able to identify if it's an actual call or a spam call. Where a lot of us sometimes don't answer the phone because it says potential spam. But if it says innovation property management, you
Or
know it's an
Transcend,
actual
it'll say
client
either.
or somebody.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. It's just a way to filter your calls out a little better. So
Generally speaking, if it's coming from 603-9669, that's the office calling. Program that phone number in. That's the main number, so that if that phone number calls you, that's a client. Almost always. Or it's the front desk asking you for something. But so 407-603-9669. That number appears on your screen, answer that phone. It's somebody looking for business. Okay? So that's good. Double check it before you leave. I'll go with you to the front desk and hit the button that says your name and make sure that it rings your phone.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
say that number again?
407-603-9669 is the main office number. We don't actually publish that one, but that is the main office number where if we were to be calling out, it would come from that number. Okay, excellent. Moving down my list. I did an open house about 3 weeks ago on one of my listings. I don't really care for open houses that much, but I did them anyway because it's $1 million. And shockingly, I got about 6 people off of an open house. And a couple of them, I could easily, if it was my form of making a living, could have signed them up as buyers. Maybe not for that house, but for other houses. It really wouldn't have been hard. The right personality will win over a client, okay? I've also been at open houses where nobody shows up. Why did nobody show up? Because I was too stupid to realize you had to do a little bit to get people to show up. I just figured a balloon in the front yard would do it, and that doesn't count. So I went out and I did, I put 6, I borrowed Antonio's open house signs. I put 6 or 7 open house signs leading up to the neighborhood. And I bought some Publix cookies for $5. I stuck them over on the counter. And I went on MLS and I advertised a couple of days in advance, about 5 days in advance, that there's an open house at this property, which automatically gets fed to Realtor.com and Zillow, so that when people, not agents, are looking at properties, they say, oh, hey, there's an open house coming. So you're getting a whole lot of advertising through Zillow and Realtor.com about that open house. 6 people showed up. I actually did go under contract on that house. It fell through because the buyer lost their job the day after inspection. That's a shame. But open houses might not sell that house, but it can bring you buyers. It can bring you sellers too, but it can bring you buyers. I highly recommend, if you have the right house at a decent price that people are going to show up to, not a dump overpriced, you can get buyers coming to you. So if you don't have a lot of business going on, or you have a spare few hours in the afternoon on a Sunday or a Saturday, hold an open house. Tell your sellers to get out of the house, and we'll call you when we're ready to come back. Turn on all the lights, turn on the fans, make sure the air conditioner is pleasant in the heat for people to walk in on, get a whole bunch of open house signs, find the crossways and whatever, and that's the cheapest way to advertise your business right then and there. It's a couple of signs and a box of cookies. It's great. Now I say this for 2 reasons. One is because everybody could use more buyers, self-included. Go out and do it. Number 2 is I have an open house on Sunday if anyone wants to help me with it. Maybe they can get some buyers at the $1 million property. So come to me if you have availability this Sunday. I have it from 11 to 2, and I would love it if somebody could assist with this open house. There's a $25,000 commission in it. So keep that in mind and let me know so that we can set this up. Okay. Open houses. Any question about open houses? Cool.
Jacob, that's a different house than the one that I showed up in,
That house is already sold. That's a different house. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, it wasn't.
Sorry. It was, but that was also $1 million.
Jacob,
So-
can we do video at your open house? Can we do like a video walkthrough? On your
Absolutely.
property? Okay.
I have 360 walkthroughs already on the house. I think I do anyway. I might not actually. I might not. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get it sold. Okay? The buyer that backed out really stunk because I had both ends of the deal on that one. So that was a $50,000 commission gone. But anyhow, I'm very happy with half of it, but we got to get it sold. And this is a good opportunity because you know people are showing up to that house. Okay? It's the right house to do it on. Okay. After this meeting between, I don't know the time, between 1 and 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm going to be shooting a video right here with this setup. Hopefully Antonios will be able to help me. But I need to practice what I preach. So I'm going to start shooting videos that I'm going to be able to post on YouTube, on our social media, and on our website for things that affect our business, my business. My business is, what I care about all of the businesses, but the property management. I'm going to be doing videos on how to fix a garbage disposal, how to change a flapper, so that when tenants call in the middle of the night, and I know it's a $3 fix for a flapper, have you gone and checked it out online? We have a how-to on all of this, okay? I already have a bunch of them, but I'm gonna update them and everything. But what I want everybody to do is, maybe they wanna see on how easy it is for us to do this. And I'm not the guy that knows how to do all this. Antonios is gonna help me out with this. I hope you'll be here. We'll shoot a video or two on how-tos. Maybe this is something you guys can do, even a how-to like what I'm doing. You know, a realtor should know a lot about things, or at least a little bit about a lot of things. So maybe they need to start coming to you as a source of knowledge on how to do things, and then down the line, you switch them over to a buyer or a seller. Out of nowhere, Dr. John Burns called me this morning. I haven't seen Dr. John Burns in 5+ years. Well, Dr. John Burns has a rental property on Edgewater Drive, a commercial one that his current realtor hasn't been able to lease out in 9 months. Okay? And it wasn't a how-to video, but it was a connection on somebody that I do property management with. You never know where that lead's gonna come from. So whether it's the how-to videos, if it's the connection down at the church, if it's the, whatever it is, we have to start firing on all cylinders because you never know where that next lead's gonna come from, okay? So if you wanna watch on how to do one of those videos, let's just pick a time around 2:30, we're gonna do a video or two. And let's see, maybe that you guys can Google some ideas on videos that you could do to put on social media or whatever to help your business grow as well. Because if you don't have the reviews, you're missing a lot of your online capability. You're embarrassed to ask people for the reviews, but maybe you're not embarrassed about how-to video.
I don't know if embarrassed is the right word.
Maybe not the right word, but just not your thing.
I'm not afraid of anything.
Okay, but you know what? I know for a long time you were very big into sailboats. Now life happens and whatever, but you could be the sailboat realtor. You know, come up with whatever. Hey, this is Ed. I just wanted to let you know, not only do I do real estate, but I can help you out on the water. You know, come up with some stupid gimmick that sets you apart from other people, that makes you human. If you go on transcendrealty.com, go look at my profile. I have a picture of me scuba diving. I have a picture, I think I have some other pictures. Have pictures of things that make you not a robot, not a run-of-the-mill agent, so that when people go to Google you, they find you're different than the next person. Because we're all gonna list on MLS. We're all gonna list at the similar price point. We're all gonna charge the same amount, but why in the world am I going to you? You gotta find that common ground. So anyhow, enough about that. But definitely keep all of that in mind. If you want to watch a video shoot, which could end in epic disaster, it'll be around 2:30. Yes.
I think you should post it on TikTok. 'Cause TikTok's very short. People like they go on their For You page like, oh, I didn't know that. Like
I think I
scroll-
have a TikTok.
doom scrolling at night and like somebody's like, last night I think I learned something new on TikTok. So it's like me scrolling. It's like for like short attention spans. So
It's
it'd be
perfect
better,
for me.
Be better.
I'm already over this conversation. No, I'm agreeing with
30
you.
seconds.
No, I'm
30
in,
seconds, quick and easy.
I'm in full agreement. I have a house that burnt down a couple of months ago over here on Bittern. Okay? Quick video, I could run out there. Why do we need renter's insurance? Look at this house. Renter's insurance is $10.95 a month through our program. This house is $237,000 worth of repairs is the latest bid. They would have paid for it. You know, these types of things. Find something like that for you. It doesn't have to be a renter's related. It could be about, this is why you need homeowner's
You
insurance.
can't post that on YouTube. Nobody's gonna like click on a 30-second video.
Sadly, she's right.
Yeah, TikTok. Every kid is on. Every adult is on TikTok. That's the new craze. You
And
just
people
gotta
love
adapt.
blood, guts, and gore. So if they're not gonna say, well, you gotta get renter's insurance. You go show a house on fire. That they'll watch.
Exactly.
I'm not telling you to set the fire, but find something, okay?
It's a shame.
So, very good, thank you, thank you.
I know that house. Across
Yeah.
the street from my aunt.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're doing the best we can. Okay, one quick question for everyone, and it's not designed for anything other than I need to know where to send leads. Who, before I go to a different set of questions and answers, who does not mind receiving and working leads that extend past Winter Haven and past Hunter's Creek? Because I send out a lot of leads, and I know not a lot of people want to work that far, which is not a problem. I have other people that can do that. But is there anybody that just doesn't care how far the lead is, or who doesn't mind working? I don't want to single anybody out. Who does not mind working Winter Park, Longwood, Altamont, Maitland, Sanford? Who doesn't mind going out there? Raise your hand if you will take that lead and run out there.
No limitations.
No
Everybody
limitations.
should have their hands up.
Okay, so we've got two
You
people.
show rentals in Winter Haven?
I've shown them in the past.
Okay.
I haven't done them recently. I've shown rentals in Sanford. What is it? Castleberry. Cape Coral. We have like.
I'm not gonna say, those leads are taken
Oh,
care
okay, I
of.
had
Those-
those- that, though.
I was gonna ask that exact question, and you have to bring it up. I've been doing rentals wherever. You know, I offer to show one in Indy Atlantic. I mean, all over, but it's
I'm
too
bringing
far.
it up
I want
because-
I like about 40 miles.
Okay,
Far enough.
so I don't
One way.
mind it, I just need to know up front,
Mhm.
because we pay a lot of money for leads,
Mhm.
and if they're going to your junk mail, or the trash can, which is even worse in my opinion, then I just will send them to the people that'll work those leads.
Mhm.
So right now I've got Wilma and Jaden that are willing to go pretty much no limitations.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean I'm sending you to the Panhandle in Miami, I'm just saying within our portfolio. And then the rest of you, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get more leads local, it just means you're not gonna see the leads from that far. So they're gonna get a ton of leads that are local and far. Okay?
Can just keep sending me anything, and what I usually do is look up, see how far they are, but I respond to everybody, send them everybody the information.
For sure.
But can you send them to me then, I was gonna ask that, because if there's something that's 55 miles away or
Just
something,
reply to me, Jacob, it's too far.
or should I just forward it to one of the?
Fine by me, forward it to
Okay.
Jaden or to Wilma,
Right.
they've already admitted that they will go that far, so
Okay.
that's not a problem. The other thing is, and I've said it before, is work smarter, not harder.
Mhm.
If you don't wanna go that far,
Pre-qualifying.
you pre-qualify, but hold an open house there. Hey, I don't mind going out there, shoot a group text. Guys, I know you don't wanna go all the way out to Sanford. I have two people that are willing to go, I have two prospective tenants I've already set up that are gonna meet me out there tomorrow from 1 to 2. So if you have any leads, just send them to me. If you say, Jacob, I'm gonna be there from 1 to 2 tomorrow, send all the leads possible for this particular property,
Mhm.
I'll do it. And just tell them this is when you're gonna be there. And if they're really that interested, Sophie
That's
did
a
it
good-
yesterday.
I thought of that, show more than one client. at
Let's
the
all
same
work
time.
together on this.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you won't get that particular one, but when you go to hold an open house, we're all going to get the same treatment. Okay? So, Sophie is doing one over on Daniel Webster. She posted it yesterday or whatever. I've been sending her all the leads the last day and a half so that she can fill up her calendar for that. I would bet that at least one person's going to rent it.
Mhm.
So at least it's not a waste. You're making money, and you've just padded the books by having enough people there. Okay, so I've got all of that. Last thing I want to do is some objection handling. I have not prepared for anything. I have no idea what you're going to ask, if you're going to ask anything at all. You're working with buyers, you're working with sellers, or you're working with tenants, perspectives on all of them. What are some of the things that they are asking you that you feel like you need a better or a clearer answer to give them in order for them to make the next step? Does that make sense? Let me see if I can give you more confident answers than what you're currently giving them to
I got
see.
one.
Go ahead.
So you want objections? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I would give you a situation, I think we all have witnessed this one. The person's like, I don't make 3 times the rent.
Okay, so I'm glad that you said that. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we can handle that. Number one is not all properties require a straight up 3 times the rent. Some of them are closer to the 2.5 times rent. The higher priced ones, I will be willing to look at 2.5 times or greater, because it's very hard on a $3,000 rent to make $9,000, nor does it equate the same percentage wise. You don't necessarily need $9,000 a month to pay for the $3,000 a month property. But on the low priced properties, you really do need that, because you do need that kind of income. So we can help with it. We will work on all of that. There is definitely some leeway on some of the properties, unless the homeowners have tied our hands, in which case it would be marked in the listing. So that's how you can handle it, number one. Number two is this homeowner is pretty set on that 3 times the rent. Can you find a co-signer that can just bring that amount up a little bit more? We'll put everybody on the lease. You'll still be paying the lease, but we know that in case there's an issue, there's another party that can help you out as well.
Down those lines, the person will say, do I have to pay my application fee to find out if you can bend the rules for me?
No.
You'll check all that out before they do the application.
No, but they don't have to pay the application fee at all. But all they have in regard, I mean, if they want to apply, if they want to get approved for the house, that's one thing.
Oh, okay.
But if they were to come up to us and say, hey, would we make 2.7 times, okay? Come to me and I'll see if we can make that work, or I'll talk to the manager to see if we can make that
So
work before they
who do
apply.
we have them call? Call you or call the property manager?
Well-
Because that has not worked well for me. These property managers do not want to be bothered. A couple of them are nice, but a few of them ain't.
I think the best way is to do that is just shoot a text message to Jacob or an email, right?
To
Maybe-
myself or to Kateria,
Kateria, yeah,
she can
sounds
help
good.
as well. We can reach out to the people. The longer a home sits on the market, the odds are is they'll be willing to budge to a certain extent. I have leeway on quite a few of them. And the owners don't actually know 100% what everybody makes, or 100% their credit scores, or anything like that. So, I mean, if it's close, at 2.5, let us know. If they're missing it by $100 or $200, put it through.
They'll probably be all right.
Okay? It'll probably be okay. But we do need to, when there's a bigger delta, we do need to reach out to that homeowner and just say, if everything else is okay, are you okay with it?
Okay. One other quick one on that. A lot of times they'll ask, is this house okay for Section 8?
For Section 8,
'Cause we
we
used to have it marked
absolutely,
on the list.
we started putting it back last week.
Oh, okay.
So we do have marks on them. More often than not, the Polka and Osceola are more willing to be able to. The Orange Seminole, not so much.
Okay.
Cape Coral, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Excellent. What other objections do you have coming in? Yes.
Yeah, many times the renters, they wanna know if the property is, if the rent is negotiable.
No. because I'm a better negotiator than that.
How would you handle that one, Jacob?
So
That's a good
I would
question.
say the truth is generally not. But if you had a number in mind, I might be able to swing by, but he doesn't generally negotiate rents very much. So I mean, and look, some of them are, okay, but if you go in with that mentality, they're gonna say, I want $300 off every month's rent. My negotiation is maybe 25. So it's a very big difference from what people want versus what they can actually get. So I would say probably not, but we can always ask.
What if they wanna pay for the whole year?
Doesn't change. And the reason why it doesn't change anything is because what does it actually give the homeowner? I can't legally give a homeowner a full year's rent. It's not legal. I have to give the homeowner every month the rent comes due, that month's worth of rent. So the homeowner doesn't get anything different by doing that. Legally, it has to stay on escrow as marked as prepaid rent. And why is that? Because if we have to go to an eviction, it changes the amount due. If they fail to, if they pay the lease termination fee of 2 months to get out, I have to now give all that money back to them. It's not technically the homeowner's money. Does that make sense? And homeowners aren't going to give that money back. So I can't give away, so paying a whole year in advance really doesn't do anything but bother accounting, because we have to hold on to it for that long. Yes?
So I find that certain houses are listed with a future available date. That's problematic.
That's a homeowner demanding
That's
us
fine,
do
but-
it.
But why do we put it on the list if it's not ready? Yesterday I went out to show a house that has a June 10th. No box, no key, no nothing. It's wasting my time.
You shouldn't have shown it. You
Well,
should have, in that
nobody
regard,
did
you
that.
should have contacted the manager and say,
But it's on the list.
well, it's on the list, but it says June 10th.
Yeah.
So I would have contacted the manager, which just keeps scrolling to the right. Hey, it has a June 10th. I have somebody interested today to look at it. Are we able to get into that property? But I've got in that case, I
You
have
have
a
one for August first.
problem. I have homeowners, some don't care, do what you want. And then I have other ones, my property's gonna be vacant in 3 months, and if you want my business, you're gonna put it on your rental list.
That's the way they work.
That's the way they are, literally. Or I'll go down the block and find somebody else to do it. So we'll put it on the rental list that says June 10th.
Or August 1st.
Or August 1st, or whatever, and that's because we have no choice. If it were up to me, I would not list a property for rent until the tenant has moved out, we've inspected the property, and it's ready to go. Those are the ones that I have no control over.
Okay.
That's the
That's a good
answer.
answer.
That's the answer. Yeah.
Credit score between 550 and 614.
I'm sorry?
Credit score between 550 and
Okay.
614.
There's no problem with that.
And it's less, let's say if it was less than 600.
We'd have to talk, it depends on the scenario, if the HOA will allow for it or not. Some HOAs say nothing below this amount. I don't have an issue with those credit scores. I don't have an issue.
So as long
Yes.
as it's above 550,
I'm sorry?
as long as it's above 550.
For the most part, unless it says otherwise on the listing. Yes.
I was just gonna ask for like some of the HOA homes, as far as like, their applications and other fees that the HOA actually implements. On some of the listings, they're, like some are and then some aren't. Like I had one listing that didn't say anything about HOA and then, once they were gonna get into that point, kind of fell through because they realized they had to pay some HOA fee and then.
So we've gone back and we've weeded those out. They should all, as of a couple of weeks ago, have on the listing, unless it slipped through the cracks, and let us know that there is an additional HOA fee, and this is the gate code, and it should have all of that on there. If it doesn't, let us know, we need to rectify it immediately. But we have gone back through it, and it should be right.
Alright, thank you.
It should be right.
Jacob, and when you say the listing, you're talking about the MLS listing, not our ash file listing.
MLS listing and or our rental website. It should all
It's not
say it
there. I'll
on
tell you
there.
right now, it's not there. And our rental website is not there.
So you
That
gotta give me the
information is
address, and Kateria and I'll work on that immediately, cause Christian
And
was supposed
that's
to have
the
that all
one-
updated.
I normally go through that. I very rarely go to MLS because it's a lot simpler for me to go into our
For sure.
system
For
and,
sure.
and see, if the information were there, you know, then I don't need to go anywhere.
It-
But
it
if it's not
should
there, then I
be
gotta
there.
go into the MLS.
I was under the impression that those were all updated,
No.
so if not,
What
we'll have
would
them
be
by the
there?
end of the day.
Access code?
No, not access code.
The
If there's an
HOA.
additional HOA fee or application or different
Or gate code.
deviation
No, not
credits.
gate
Or
code.
gate code, or
But
gate
he
code.
didn't say.
Gate
Well, I
code
can't
is
put a
important.
gate
No.
code there.
In our system,
No,
No.
but it's on MLS.
because you have to be a realtor to get on
Yeah,
MLS.
Show
So it'll be on MLS, but I can't, through our system, it'll go to the public.
So we should double check MLS to see if there is a gate code. And they should always be, if it is, there should be there.
Everything is on MLS with regards to codes and gate codes now under showing instructions.
And they are.
And they are. And they are.
That's the problem I've been running into. So when you asked earlier about who's willing to go far, one of the reasons I did put my hand up is because my experience has been every time I drive 1 hour to go there and I can't get into the gate. And it's happened numerous times.
When was the last time it happened though? Because this has all been adjusted in the last 3 weeks.
It was 3 weeks.
Okay, so since then,
Yeah.
everything is on MLS to showing instructions. What other non-rental objections are we getting? Anything? I have a classic one that I used to get when I was their age. How long have you been in this business?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, when you see young, you think inexperienced. So when you're out there with your buyers or your sellers, well, how long have you been doing this for? I can skew any answer to make it fit, okay? So I'm gonna take Gabriella. Gabriella, how long have you been in this business?
I've been in the business for a year now.
Okay,
Well, actually, 3.
go on.
Just because I look young doesn't mean I'm young. I'm 21 years
Okay,
old.
okay, not the way to talk about it, okay. So, Gabriella, tell me a little bit about you before real estate. What did you do? Summer jobs, anything?
I graduated high school.
Okay, and no other jobs?
No.
Okay, so you gotta change it around a little bit, okay? So Gabriella said 1 year and then she changed it to 3. Just out of curiosity, how did you get those 2 extra years?
Oh, I just lie. I used
No,
to
that you
excuse
never
it.
do.
Excuse it.
Can't do
So
that.
I just restarted
Can't do that.
for 3.
No, never
good.
do that. Never lie.
Never lie.
Here's an example. Let me take me for example, and then we'll go around. We'll pick a couple of it. I got into real estate after I graduated college at 21 years old. So when I was 21 and 22, and I was working hard to make myself more experienced than I actually was, it was because I did get the question a lot. It was actually, I've been in real estate my whole entire life. And do you want to know why? Number one, my father was a builder since 1972. I was born in 82, so for 10 prior years of my existence, we've been in real estate. My family has lived in Central Florida since the 50s as a real estate family. I grew up showing properties with my father on the weekend. I helped paint his apartments, I helped plunge those toilets, and then I just recently formally got the license, but I've been doing this for a long time.
That's good.
Okay? That's how you can do it.
Oh, my daughter.
I'm sorry?
Oh, my daughter, she showed me.
Exactly. Exactly. Jaden, what did you do before real estate?
High school.
High school. Okay, what specialty classes did you take? How did you wind up in real estate?
I was in like the business program in high school, and that's how I got connected with them.
Excellent. So how long have I been in real estate? I've formally had my license for the last year and a half. I've been doing real estate. I've been in school taking business classes because I always had a passion for business and for sales. I don't know that this is true or not, but I used to go door to door with the Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts selling whatever. Selling is natural to me. It's not a big deal. You buy into my personality, not necessarily my 15 years of real estate business. You just have to change it around a little bit to make it fit you. So even if you're 40s, 50s, and 60s and you're recently into this business, it's just skewing it around a little bit to make you look like you've been doing something of the sort for that amount of time. Yes?
Well, actually, in college, I had to take real estate classes for my major, so I could just say like I've been taking real estate.
I've been doing
Studying
real
it,
estate
yeah.
only for a year and a half, but I've been taking real estate courses in college and post-college for X amount of time. I've been doing this for a lot longer than you think. Okay? Any other objection handling questions that might come up? It doesn't have to be about experience, it doesn't have to be about rentals, anything. The key, the absolute key to sales is confidence. Okay? I had no idea what the two of them were going to say, and I singled them out because they're the youngest in the room. Okay? But they threw a couple of curveballs at me, but it didn't deviate the way that I projected back. Okay? Speak like you know. Don't lie, but speak like you know what you're talking about. Speak with confidence. Speak with a definitive answer. Not, well, get rid of that type of stuff, and people will buy into you real quick. Okay? Excellent. Thank you very much. Please don't forget, let's set up your telephones and whatever, make sure that they're up and running, and we will
I just have
go
one
from
thing
there.
real quick with you guys. I asked you guys to fill this out at the beginning of the meeting.